Paul says in 2 Corinthians, all the promises of God find their yes in the Messiah, Jesus. Any attempt to say, but there are 3 or 4 other promises which aren't yet fulfilled in Jesus, and so God is reserving them for some future thing. This is basically a 19th century mistake of exegesis. It came in through the Plymouth Brethren movement, through the dispensationalism, and obviously the different kinds of dispensationalism, but an attempt to find an eschatology which would get round the rather embarrassing problem that when Jesus came, most of his fellow countrymen didn't believe. Now, the Gospels address that problem, but the way the dispensationalists did it was to say, well, okay, that meant that some of the key promises about the land and so on were put on hold, and they're waiting for a future date. And guess what? That future date was 1947, when the United Nations voted to say that the Jewish people could go and establish a homeland once again. Now, let me make it very clear that I have every total sympathy for the need of the Jewish people, particularly after centuries of pogroms and persecutions and being kicked out of whole countries and so on, and then particularly reaching its climax in the Nazi Holocaust, of course. I have every sympathy with saying they have to have a place where they are secure. They have to have a place where they can belong, where they can be themselves. But this has then been pushed in a quite different direction, particularly by what has called itself Christian Zionism, which I see as basically a contradiction in terms, because for a Christian, Jesus is Lord of the whole world. The whole world is now God's holy land. And the way the New Testament works is not to say, well, there's this little bit which is still special, and that's kind of reserved for the Jews at some future date. But no, the church is not simply Jews over there waiting for something else and then Gentile Christians over there. That's a very common mistake which many people make at the moment, thinking to be making sure that they're, as it were, making room for the Jewish people, faced with the rising tide of anti-Semitism. We've got it in the UK at the moment. As you say, we're recording on November the 10th. This coming weekend in London, there's going to be a huge march of pro-Palestinian sympathizers, and there's a great political debate whether that should even be allowed, because it may well be, some of them be bent on making trouble. And the Jewish community in my country are really frightened at the moment. I have every sympathy for them. If I was in the job I was doing once before, I would want to link arms with the local rabbi and walk down the street and say, "Not in our name, thank you very much." So make it very clear.
Yes, you are.
It's not about casual support for one side or the other. At the same time, the indiscriminate bombing of civilians, etc., seems to me one of the definitions of a war crime. And so there's all sorts of stuff going on. And this is why, back to Romans 8, the plea for lament is so important. And the call to the church to be the people of lament at the place where the world is in pain, so that the Holy Spirit may be lamenting right there, and so that the Father and the Spirit will be sharing that cruciform lament at the heart of the world's pain. And that, says Paul, is how God is bringing the new world to birth. So our prayer, our lament, is not just we're looking on from a distance and saying, "Oh dear, it's all rather horrible," but we are actually being used in God's purposes to be the vessels and vehicles of the prayer through which he will do the good new things that he wants to do.